Same thing's happening here with the open borders. Who talked about language, borders, culture? Michael Savage. So call him a prophet, a historian, a man before his time. He is a Renaissance man, of course, best-selling author, launched much of the modern herbal supplement movement we know of in the 60s and 70s. If there's one guy, you could say Michael Savage under another nom de plume. And now he's with us for just 30 minutes, so I'm going to shut up and go to him. But I got to tell you, he's banned from entering England. I've been threatened that I'll be banned from entering Europe or England now if I criticize radical Islam. They're arresting Germans en masse and taking their kids from them if they criticize radical Islam. The women are being told don't wear short skirts. They're canceling Christian holidays in public squares because the radical Islamics are offended. This is the suicide of the West. You talk about total mental illness because, I mean, these radical Islamics are going to go after the liberals first thing when they get control. It is suicidal. It's a form of cuckolding, in my view. He's got his new book out. The last one was censored on China, getting ready to make big moves. You notice that all happened. China's now involved with clandestine radio they secretly own in the U.S., trying to censor media. They block Hollywood movies being released. His new book, Government Zero, No Borders, No Language, No Culture. And folks, you may all get it, but your friends and family don't. This is a book you better give them this Christmas or this holiday season. And I'm here pushing it because Savage needs support with his information. He doesn't need money. He needs to get the book out. And you need to get the book out. And you need to support people that are telling the truth. Now, I'm done ranting. I want him to come back in the next month for a full hour. He's doing a book tour right now, so we just got 25 minutes with us. But to say it's dire when the Daily Beast says we need to confiscate guns, that's a quote, but the black helicopter people may fight back. So we're still crazy, even though we were right they're coming for the guns, and we were right they're going to get rid of the borders, and we were right they're coming with forced inoculation, and we were right about world government with the Pope calling for it. Michael Savage, I'm going to try to shut up, but I tell you, this is an epic moment. You've laid so much knowledge on us. Where are we now? Where are we going? Word is you're being censored as well. They're trying to block your new book. I mean, it is on. They're saying they want to persecute the press. Supreme Court Justice told Matt Drudge that they're coming next year to shut down basically talk radio and free speech on the internet. I mean, it's here. What do we do, Michael Savage?
Okay, without hammering the book, I want to start with the title because it says it all. Government Zero. If we don't see President Zero invoking Government Zero, I'd like to know what it's going to take for the average moron out there, idiot, moron, fools, who have sold the country away, running around in shorts with Halloween costumes with their children on drugs and sugar. And they wonder why these SOBs with that monster tyrant leftist bastard in the White House. This guy is the smartest leftist in the history of the world. This slick BS artist, Barry from Honolulu, has done more harm to the world than Marx and Lenin put together. And he gets away with it for one reason, Alex. He doesn't shout like me. Have you ever heard Barry from Honolulu scream?
No.
Never. He is the smoothest con man in the history of the world. He makes Soros look like a chump. Soros, by the way, is behind breaking all the borders of Europe. You know that. With his open society. You know, Soros is who flooded America with marijuana. You know that. Now, many people like marijuana. I think it's one of the most toxic substances in the world. It is the road to addiction. It is a gateway drug. Who has made it suddenly so friendly? 10 years ago, I fought with one of Soros's minions on my radio show. Soros was the first to fund medical marijuana initiatives in Arizona and California. And I was arguing, are you people crazy? It's a gateway drug. You're going to hook a generation on drugs. We had this argument. It's history now. Marijuana is as friendly as candy corn. Everyone thinks it's a benign herb. It is not. So what does it have to do with Soros's master plan? The man is possibly the most evil genius on the planet, in my estimation. Why does he want to break the borders of every nation on earth? What is it that they're after? What do you mean, no borders? Well, listen. No borders, no language, no culture. A mass of stupid drugged humanity. Easily manipulated, turned into slaves, serfs in their own country. What more do you need to know? Children on drugs, parents on alcohol, marijuana, and drugs. And then you have the puppet masters, as in The Godfather, the Pezzanovantes, pulling the strings, sucking the money out of the people's pockets as they go to work like slaves in their little slave factories, thinking they're free. Remember Orwell's book? Remember that great phrase, those who rattle their chains most loudly scream, I'm free, I'm free, I'm free?
Yes.
That's what Orwell wrote. As he saw what communism had wrought in Europe, socialism, he was originally a socialist. And then he saw who they really were. He saw they were monsters and dictators.
He got
Stalin.
into their upper sanctum. He was led into the Fabian Socialist.
Stalin, Hitler, all socialists. Everyone forgets that. Very convenient to forget Hitler was a socialist. Stalin, Hitler, socialists, different sides of the coin. Now we have socialism is suddenly popular in America. How's that possible? Because the drugged morons don't even know what it is. They don't know what it has wrought. They don't know where it leads. They have no idea what it'll do to them. Now, couple that with bringing in as many Islamic fascists as you possibly can, as quickly as you can. Why? Why are they bringing in so many young men of military age into Europe, into America? What's their game plan here? And now throw in what you're talking about, confiscation of guns. It ain't happening, Alex. It would not Australia. Australia had no Second Amendment. That's number one. And I will remind you and your audience, and this is the most important thing, Alex, I'm sorry for the day. I have a tape that I keep playing in my radio show from Elena Kagan when she was appointed to the Supreme Court, when she went through the fake hearing, the kangaroo fake hearing of whether she should be appointed or not. She was asked about the Second Amendment. Remember her? She's this kind of pickle saleswoman from the Lower East Side of New York.
Looks like the penguin.
Yeah, pickle saleswoman. In my day, the most she would have done is sold bloomers at Macy's. Now she's on the Supreme Court. This is right out of the Communist China playbook. Take people from the bottom and put them on the top. Take people on the top and throw them to the bottom. So Elena Kagan, when she was grilled, fake grilled, she says, where do you stand on guns? And she says, the Second Amendment is established law. The Second Amendment is established law. Well, if it's established law, how could Barry from Honolulu take your guns? How could the witch from Arkansas or Chappaqua?
I agree with you, but they're openly licking their chops is what I'm saying. I agree it'll start a civil war. I agree they're not going to get away with it, but they're openly now, Hillary, Obama, others saying we do need to look at confiscation. That's a bold move. Why are they shooting their mouths off?
There was a time not too long ago when the Democrats would never even touch God, guns, and gays. Remember that time not so long ago? But Barry from Honolulu is such a slick con artist that he's so hoodwinked the American drug addict that they actually think it's time for socialism, gun seizure, no borders, and flood America with your Muslim brethren. The people are stupid and they're drugged, Alec. And they sense they could get away with it. But you know what? They're reading their tea leaves wrong. There'll be a revolution and they're going to lose, Alex. There are too many guns and too many people ready to fight them. I'm not calling for revolution. They are. Let's be very clear. I am a man of peace. I am a man of peace. But we have gangsters running this country. Criminals, gangsters. What the hell is this highway bill all about? The first day, I'm sorry for yelling.
No, we're normal. We see total criminal takeover, the death of freedom, the death of the West, and these crazy socialists that so hate freedom that they want to bring in the most radical Sunni Wahhabiist to run around and rape people, and the Swiss and Dutch and all the rest of these police just let them go under orders. I mean, it's just crazy that we've gotten to this point, and it's normal to get angry. We need to get people out of their coma. How do we do that?
I got to go back to Paul Ryan. He gives a speech today that I hear on ABC News about the highway bill. Listen to this. The first day he gives a speech, what's it about? The highway bill. Who was it who was pushing the highway bill for years now? Nancy Pelosi. Put two and two together. Why is it a highway bill that's on the top of their list?
Because Pelosi supported him.
Why does Pelosi push it?
Because
There's an
they
old
can.
adage, all roads lead to Rome. You ever hear that one going back to ancient
Absolutely.
times? All roads lead to Rome. That's as far as I can go without winding up with lead shoes in the bottom of San Francisco Bay. And I'll let it hang in the air. It is the most corrupt, degenerate, criminal government in American history. And I'm not saying this for effect, nor to sell a book. I'm trying to awaken people. Unfortunately, Alec, your audience is already awakened. They're agitated. They're ready to strike. They don't know what to do. But look at the morons around you. Go walk in the streets.
They're zombies.
You know, I walked in San Francisco yesterday, the most beautiful city. I love it to death. I'm walking through a park near the Embarcadero, and without being graphic, I'm an old Boy Scout, so I read footprints in the woods, and I can read droppings in the woods. I was taught how to follow droppings of what kind of animal it is. Well, there was a dropping on the ground on the sidewalk that I said there are no bears in the city. How could Huh? This can't be a bear.
Well, it's an admitted record problem in San Francisco, public defecation, and now in government buildings, even when they have bathrooms, they're so mentally ill that they just enjoy crapping in public.
What does that say about a civilization, Alex, that people are allowed to crap without having their heads broken open by a cop? In my day, if a guy did that, a big Irish cop would smash him on the head with a nightstick and drag him into the prison and hose him down and throw him into a jail and leave him there. Well, what kind of country is this that permits this to go on? Now, you ask yourself, if society is breaking down, and at the same time they're trying to break us down, what is it all about? So the public defecation could be stopped in 1 second, right? So what is this about? It's to constantly lower the standards of the middle class, constantly dehumanize the middle class.
That's it.
Right? Dehumanize, desensitize, weaken until eventually they have no resistance to whatever the evil criminal gangsters in the regime might do next. It's as simple as that, Alex. And at the want and at the wish to not offend people who think I'm peddling a book, I have to mention my great new book,
Let's
Government
talk
Zero.
about the book. Absolutely. No, you certainly
I have to mention it.
Don't need to make money, but people need to get this book and get it out to everybody. It's at michaelsavage.com, amazon.com, all the big bookstores are carrying it. And they're also, I've been told, I saw some news on this, and of course you were telling me that you certainly have intel on it. There are moves to really try to censor and block your book.
First of all, the good news is, despite the censoring, despite no appearance on Fox News ever, zero. Fox News, conservative outlet, are you kidding me? Zero. Michael Savage officially banned. ABC, CBS, NBC banned. CNBC banned. So I go on your show. Laura Ingraham has a small show. I love her to death. She's brilliant. Who else has me on? Nobody. Despite the media blackout, the audience is so loyal. The book is #2 this week on the Barnes & Noble bestseller. Excuse me. We just got the news this morning. It's #2 on the Barnes & Noble bestseller list. We don't know what it'll be on the New York Times list. God knows they manipulate that one.
Oh, it's admittedly manipulated.
What people are reporting that they're going in stores and they're finding stacks of the books with the covers bent.
Wow.
So you got sabotage. Then they're finding the book in the back, not on the front table, which the publisher paid for, but in the back under feminine hygiene. That's a joke, but that's where they're putting it. Anywhere but where you can find it. Now, which books are selling well? Why, O'Reilly's books, the Killing series. What are people buying that garbage for? What's the revelation about killing Patton or killing Reagan? Can you tell me why anybody would read a book like that? Well, what are they finding in the book that they don't already know?
It's mindless. It's non-threatening. They want to think they're pseudo-intellectuals. They want to sit back and read something that's utterly mindless.
Well, I said this facetiously, and I certainly don't mean it, but I said I'm waiting for the next book in the series by him called Killing O'Reilly. Maybe he'd do us all a favor and end it already. He's got some franchise going there, doesn't he? But nevertheless, let's get back to serious stuff. No borders, no language, no culture. What does that matter? Leftist says, hey, Savage, what the heck are you so excited about? What do you need a border for? And what are you holding on to English for? Your parents were immigrants, weren't they, Michael? Yes. And so what's your point, Larry? I was on Larry King last week. He has a little show on Russian television. How is that for a funny come about of events? But I actually like Larry King. But you know why, Alex? He's a liberal, old school, nice liberal, smart, but not vicious. Totally different than the new generation of progressive psychos, right? So he says to me, your parents were immigrants, so what are you afraid of someone not speaking English? I said, I don't care what language they speak at home. My grandmother never spoke a word of English. But my father drilled into me, you're in America. Learn English. Learn it the best way you can. Become an American. You're not living anywhere else. Be an American. That's not the ethos of this generation, is it? Do you hear them teaching their children learn English? They're teaching them learn anything but English. Stamp on the country that's so good to you. Don't learn their language. There is no culture there. How long has the left taught us that America has no culture? It's an acculturated nation. That we're a nation with no culture.
They want to get rid of our culture so they can then download into us their sick, mentally ill culture. And you were one of the first to say this, but more and more it's clear. The top liberals are vicious mafia social engineers, as you've documented, but their minions really are mentally ill basket cases. I'm sure you saw the Atlantic Monthly article a few weeks ago about the coddled generation admitting, and these are leftists saying, that their college students have now become like these weird Maoist youth brigades that shout them down.